Good morning, traders, and welcome to the All Markets webinar here with me, Bruce. I'll be your host. Morning, traders, and we're going to go through order flow analysis using Bookmap for any market that you guys want to take a look at that we can connect to. That includes cryptocurrencies, stocks, and futures here in the US. So let's jump in and start to go through it. The disclosures. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in here. Now, we're going to look at the S&P E-mini so a really nice move here just at the in the morning. You can see the cash open here at 9:30 and the move up, and it looks like it's kind of done for now in my opinion. Here's why. We have high liquidity up here. We have the top of the range here since 6:30 or before 6:30 a.m. East Coast time, 3.5 hours ago, and we traded up into this liquidity here, and we see the sell-off. Right, strong impulse move to the upside, and then we see the profit taking and sellers starting to enter in. In fact, a nice little double top pattern up in here. We'll cover that in just a minute. Really heavy selling here. I mean, look at the volume, look at the dots in here, and look at the flip and the change in the order flow. Okay, you can see it right here in front of us. If we draw a line right down the middle here. Okay, look at the shift in the change here. Okay, it's actually. Let me know if you guys have any questions on this. This is it's important to understand this. So anyone in Discord or over here in YouTube, let me get to the Discord chat. Just a minute. We've been the competition, so we've been other chat rooms, etc. here. Good morning, Slowdown, and Stan and everyone else. Excellent. Great stuff, Stan, as usual. It's just great to see. It's like every day, like breakfast or something. You know, you put in these great setups and trades that you're looking at. It's spot on. It's great stuff. Anyway, and you're going over exactly what we're covering in the order flow in these webinars, identifying them and then making decisions upon them. I'll cover this. We'll go over your trade a little bit later. Okay. So, and if I don't, remind me, and we'll get to it. Okay. So anyway, look at I just want to point out this double top here. And if there's any kind of questions in here. Now, what we've got here on our side, and this is, we want to understand context in here. Double tops are meaningless if there's no context. We want to understand a double top as a retest back up to the recent high and then a failure. And now I'm going to cover this and then we'll get to the bigger picture. We can see that what we have here in several hours of data. Okay, we have the move to the downside here at 9, some back and forth in here, and then the cash open. We have nice momentum in the move to the upside. Okay, so I think this is the gap fill as well, but I'll cover that in the bigger picture in just a couple of minutes. Now, when we start to see just the momentum drive in here is looking pretty good. We see tons of buyers coming in, lifting this market, trading up into high liquidity, but there's still more buying pressure. Here we can see even a flag pattern in here. And I don't, like I mentioned again and again, does not matter about double top or flag or whatever. It's just a reference. What we care about is the behavior of the traders in the auction. It is the order flow that defines ultimately these patterns. So we have strong move, some back and forth in here into this high liquidity. And again, yet more buyers at a higher high here, still looking for next level of liquidity buyers trade through it up into the top of the range here. Okay, so and then here, this is what I wanted to cover. Bigger picture, high liquidity up here above the swing. Right, we know that it's here. You can see it right in the heat map here in Bookmap. Okay, we have the move into it, does not chew through it. Okay, some of these other areas, they chewed right through that liquidity. There was still more buying pressure. They did not here. We get a pullback, we get another retest back up here. Okay, and look at the at this high liquidity level up here and top of the range as well. Okay, we need that on our side. And then we have another retest back up here, and look at the selling coming in. Okay, look at the night and day here difference. Buyers, buyers, sellers, sellers. All right, so we're looking to see what's going to happen up in here. It rejected. It didn't even make a higher high or an equal high. It rejected. We see the sellers come in. This is where you can start to look for a move back down into the test of liquidity here, or some of the swings. The first swing is here. And if there is more selling through that swing, we're still looking for momentum to the downside to the next swing. Okay, or next level of liquidity. Liquidity levels here, still more selling pressure. So we look for the next swing or liquidity level. Okay, so now we have the move down. Here's the retest by the buyers again. And look at the selling coming in again. So now we're looking for a continuation into high liquidity. So it's just doing that now, but we're still looking for the move lower into maybe 53 here. Okay, we're looking for this continuation pattern in here. So again, this would be like an inverse or a bear flag pattern. Strong move, pull back, strong move momentum into 53. Right? So again, we can do this all day long in here. There was a question that someone had answered or asked me in support about identifying reversal patterns, identifying continuation patterns, identifying breakout patterns, etc. This is it. This is how you do it. Okay, we're still looking. There is no reason yet to look for anything else in this move right now. We're still looking for 53. All right, so anyway, that's what we currently see in the market right now. Let me know if you have any questions, please. Morning, Deborah and Rob and Alois. Do we have this kind of content in Spanish language? We absolutely do. Idabel. So let me show you on our calendar. Okay, so this is where you can go. We're going to go to bookmap.com. Click on the More button here, and then go to the resources here, Learning Center. Click on that. This will take you to the Learning Center. In the Learning Center, there are courses, videos on getting connected, order flow phenomena, add-ons. We have 2 courses. We're going to add a 3rd shortly. Getting started with Bookmap and all the basic functionality and how to use it and read it. We have a market mechanics course. And then you keep on scrolling down. We have all of our streamers in here daily or weekly. And then we have our events calendar here. Spanglish Trades is today at 1 p.m. Okay, so go to our Spanish YouTube channel. I can send you a link to that as well. Okay. Let's just go there. We have many Bookmap Espanol. This is Spanglish Trades. Is it Book Spanish? Anyway, it is Frank that Marrero that will be hosting the webinar today. Okay. All right, hold on just a minute here. I'll get you the link directly. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So I'll put this in the chat for you. There you go. So that's and Spanglish trades. Now let's go back to our calendar. Okay, so there's a bunch of things going on in here. So Spanglish trades, Frank Marrero, he'll be on at 1 p.m. today, this afternoon. If you scroll down again, you'll see that there's also Crypto con Alejo at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. These are all East Coast times, but this calendar will show the times based off of your computer clock. And then you'll see Spanglish trades again down here on Friday at 1 p.m. here. All right, so there's 3 events. Yeah, we have a Spanish channel in our Discord, right? So you might want to go there. Okay, and let's see what happened here. All right, so we almost got there, not quite, right? 53.50 was where we came to. Now, this is can be nerve-wracking in here because we had no reason to think why it would not come down to this liquidity here, and then it didn't. Okay, instead it came down to the swing here. Okay, so what I want to cover here is this is not a math equation. It's not that it just because we see the momentum here is going to go directly to that liquidity. Many times that's exactly what it does. That's why we target the liquidity. We also look at the swings, but we look at the context in here, and this is important to understand how to manage these trades. Okay, so however it is that you may want to use to manage these trades, like maybe breaking another small swing here, okay, and that's where you're out, right? So maybe around this 57 level is where you got out. Maybe you took some profit, just some, at the swing. Okay, it depends. It depends on the context in here. The context in here is, well, let's just read the momentum in here. Not bad. I would have looked for 53 to trade, or even just it's at 52 3/4. And then there was some back and forth, and the buyers came in. There's nothing else in here. I mean, that's what happened. The context here was that we see the buyers come in and they break the structure, and there's just more aggressive buyers. They're lifting it up into higher liquidity on the offer, okay, and it's transacting. All right, now we can also, let's just read it right now. What do we have up here? We're getting another retest of that swing right now. Okay, well, what do the buyers and sellers look like? Well, it's really back and forth to me. I see buyers here, I see sellers here, I see some buyers coming back in. So let's go through a couple scenarios, and that's what I mean by the context. And then we'll look at the bigger picture. All right, we got to get prepared for that bigger picture. So the context up here would be like if we get more buyers up here, more green dots up here, we're looking for the move up into 64 1/4. Okay? If we don't, and we see more red dots start to come in, especially down here, right here, and they're not, right? So watch these buyers. We'll probably get another attack up to the swing up here. They were looking for that scenario. Now, if we don't, and we see sellers down here, we're looking for the break, and we'd be looking for the move back down to this swing, which isn't far away, and then the other one's down here. Okay, so here come the buyers on the attack back up to here. Right now, we need to see a couple things. We need to see a lot of aggressive buyers here. We'd also like to see the order book skewed, and we want to see high liquidity up underneath here. All right, so that's the context I'm talking about. And let's see, do we get our buyers here? Nothing convincing yet. Nothing convincing at all. And let's get another retest back up here and we'll see. This is how you can look at and judge breakouts. Okay, there we go. All right, buyers, let's see if you can lift it up into these levels here. 64 would be our target. Okay, now again, this is not a trade recommendation. This is just an order flow reading and putting this context together. We do see how it's kind of bluish down here? That is the skew in the order book. It's not very strong. Okay, so this trade, although we are still kind of looking for it to come up to 64, it is not high probability. Right? So this will help you determine this context and start to understand, is it a strong probability or less likely probability? Okay, it's starting to shape up a little bit better actually for the pop up into 64. See that? Look at that skew in the order book here at 60. Now, what's the reaction? Okay, do we get buyers or sellers in here? Here come buyers. And now let's see the move up into 64. Okay, it doesn't mean that you should take these trades in here. You're looking for this order flow read, but as you have to assess the risk and how good this actually looks, right? Because look what it did. It popped up here and it didn't hit it yet. You see sellers come in. Look at the order flow now. Well, this liquidity at 60 just traded, and look at the offer here. They're getting pretty aggressive. They're not aggressors, but their behavior here is they are offering at lower levels. Okay, so if we get sellers here and the skew in the order book, we'd be looking for the move back down to like 58 or so here. All right, this is the context we're talking about. That will help you stay away from less probable trades and look for order flow to give you additional insight to much higher probability trades. Okay, this is something you'll have to take a look at and start to understand in the context. All right. Yeah, I'll see it's in Spanish. Those are in Spanish. Oh, there's a Spanish futures channel. Absolutely, here on our Discord channel. If you go to our Discord channel here, so join our Discord. You'll scroll down and you'll see the Spanish room in here. Okay. Here's the English room, right, for special events, and right below that is the Spanish. All right, so that's where to go. All right, guys, so look what happened here. We had our skew, we had our sellers. We've already traded the 58 and below. Okay, and that was the context. Originally, we were looking for this move higher. It looked pretty good, and then we had an order flow shift and change. It happens all the time. And we read it, and then we're looking for the context down here. We got our sellers. Okay, so anyway, this is the C word is I know can be kind of maddening to a lot of traders about context, understanding context, but it really is all about the context. If these patterns are going to work or fail, it's about the context. All right, so I can even demo this with a candlestick chart in a minute, and then we'll take a look at the higher time frame. We'll look at also Stan's trades, okay, and his context and what he's doing in there. All right, so let's jump out of Bookmap for a second, and let's look at some candlestick charts on higher time frames. This is just our Trader Pro from Rhythmic, and this is the daily chart over here. All right, we have the move to the downside. You can see on the daily chart, and we're at the bottom of a pretty big range in here, pretty big. And this was a pretty big down day on Friday, and we went below that in the overnight, and now we're back up into the range here. Let's look at the hourly in here. And in fact, I need to zoom in a bit more. Okay, well, the hourly is not really helping us too much here. Yeah, we can see the swings down here in the move and the rejection, and the wicks and the move back up. It's the 15-minute chart that's going to help us here. Here's our gap in the 15-minute chart. We have two gaps in here. This is also from September 20th in here, right? Okay, so let's look at less bars in here. Hold on. Do this. Day look. No, I don't want that. All right, just need to look at less bars, which is fine. Okay, here's our gap here. Okay, here's where we opened, cash open, and you can see nothing but momentum and moved higher here, filled the gap, and now we have our profit taking up here. That's our double top. Okay, it makes complete sense why we can look for the move up into this area for your gap fill, and then that double top to find sellers, profit takers, gap traders selling off. And then now we want to see though what happens after this. So are we going to get more momentum and continuation to the downside, or are we going to come back up here and accept above the gap and then maybe try to attack some of these highs up in here, right? In here, in here. Okay, so that's to be determined. And right now our answer is we're finding sellers, okay, on this 15-minute chart. So we can also integrate this reading into the higher time frame. The hourly is still kind of nebulous in here. It's not really telling us too much, but the daily, we have nice scenario brewing here of that strong down day on Friday, bottom of the range, and then continuation. Okay. Typically, you do see like a bounce down here around these ranges. These are really emotional levels in here. You'll see a lot of like volatility and back and forth. A lot of traders on many time frames are trading around these levels here, right? So we might get we may get a move all the way back up here, to retest that breakdown. However, due to the momentum, and we have high here, a lower high here, and we're just making that lower low, it appears that we're going to continue on down lower. All right, well, that's one good scenario here because of the momentum on Friday, this strong move here. All right, so we're going to look for that as a more likely scenario than a retest back up into these ranges here. But everyone's going to be looking for that, right? So we want to also see like what happens in this scenario of coming down to these lows again, trapping lows, and then we see a rocketing move back up into the range here. Okay, to really stop people out. All right, so we're going to look for those scenarios here in the order flow in Bookmap. All right. And then I said we'd look at the I forget exactly what it was, but we look at Stan's trades though. Okay, so just yeah, come over here to the All Markets Bruce channel. This is where Stan posts his some of his content in here. So let's just click on this, and then it's kind of hard to read. All right, so we're going to open it up in another browser, which is fine. And here we go. Okay. Just great stuff here. I mean, here's look at traders or buyers trade into liquidity and can't lift the price in here. Okay? He identified that. Here's our exhaustion. This is your a micro kind of double top in here, or at least really small time frame double top. There's our exhaustion. He properly identifies that. This is where you can look for that trade, right? Here they come again though, but they can't again get higher. Okay, so back and forth in here, and then he sees the sellers break it, right? So he's targeting this liquidity down here or this liquidity down here. Yeah, and then beautiful stuff. Adding liquidity on the offer here, skewing that order book like we were just looking at. Okay, guys, Stan is part of the Bookmap Academy. He's just been bumped up into the Bookmap Academy. If you guys are interested in that, let me show you where that is. It is, you got to go to, well, I can show you it here. And I'll put this link into the chat for you. This is our Bookmap Academy program. This is a pathway to improve your trading. It is free and open to all, and you can also get Bookmap for free through this program if you qualify. So first step is to apply to the Bookmap Academy. And then you create content. If your content is good, you will be invited to the Bookmap Junior Academy, where you'll need to prove yourself. You'll create content. If the content is of quality and consistent, and you meet the thresholds required, you'll get to the Bookmap Academy, and that's where you can get Bookmap for free. If you double your quota, you can get also the MBO bundle for free. And then if you do well there, you can be invited to be a coach and teach, basically give feedback to other Bookmap Junior Academy members. And then you can become a streamer as well. That would be the next step. We already have 3 Bookmap Academy members that are streamers. We have Tom B, we have Moby, and we have Doug Pless. All right, so the program is real. It is working. If you're interested in this, let me put this link into the chat and sign up. Okay. There you go. All right, so let's take a look at the next image here. Target achieved. Nicely done, Stan. Okay, here's another one. Looks almost identical to it. See how, I mean, this is why the documenting your trading activity and order flow phenomena in here, we're providing this pathway via the Academy. And look how Stan has taken advantage of this. You know, buying conviction. Buyers tried to get into liquidity but couldn't. Try it again. Look at the buying. They're struggling. They're really clawing away at it here. They're buying, but they just can't get there. Look out when the sellers come in. They break the swing, or this consolidation here that he outlined in orange. And you look for the next level down here. Okay, so he's looking for liquidity. He also looks like he has his POC down here. It's a great area to take profit. Okay, so let's see what happened here. And here it is. Wait, I think it's over here, right? That was it you were looking at in, no, in here. Okay, and you closed your trade a little. Oh no, below. It went below here. Look. Yeah. So anyway, guys, if you know, this is a pathway to becoming a better trader if you're interested. So I encourage you. It's free. It's open to all. It's only going to be helpful. You'll become a better trader, and you might get Bookmap for free. And you can also, you have a pathway to becoming a professional trader. All right. All right. So we've gone over a higher time frame. Went over some of Stan's trading activity, and we covered now in here several patterns. Okay, a momentum pattern at the cash open and why, and where it might go, and then we covered this double top in here. okay, and also why. We have another double top in here. This is, well, triple top basically, but here's that retest that we're looking at, right? And then we'll go over another example in here and kind of put together multiple time frames in here. Okay, because a lot of traders won't be looking at, won't be zooming in to these levels in here. Okay, so we can do this simply by edit these. Hold on. Let's look at a couple trend lines and breaks here. Now there's a much more aggressive one in here. We're going to add that though. Okay, it actually held pretty nicely here. Good morning, Yanis. All right. Okay, so and this fits into Stan's analysis as well. So this beautiful double top failure here, and we can look at some measured moves in here as well. But yeah, maybe your target might be just down here. We actually had that flag pattern. We were looking for 53. It came down pretty close to it, but then it didn't make it. And then we had more retest back up here. But look at, again, let's look at the context of the move up here. Okay, first off, we know the liquidity is up here. Secondly, look at the volume. Okay, so here's our strong move, strong volume. Here's our strong selling volume down here. Okay, also in here. Right, now look how strong this is. It's not as strong as previously, right? And then look at this move here. Okay, it's not strong at all. It's weak, right? So now we have divergence also in not only cumulative volume delta down here, but we also have it in the volume here. Okay, so you can, however you want to slice and dice it, there are many ways to get in. Maybe you're looking for a break of that more aggressive trend line. Maybe you're zoomed in more, and you're looking for maybe just a break of the swing, or you can even be more aggressive when you have these things if you're really dialed in, and you can look for this trend line break in here, right? And it kind of broke here, but it really broke here. Okay, so now you have your little area of consolidation as well, and look at the retest to it. You can even get in there, right? So and you're really looking for that break in here. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Hey, good morning, Stephen. Okay, buyers giving it one more strong shot here. Look at this. Look at the buying coming in. Okay, well, let's see if they can do it. They've gotten to this swing here. The liquidity is at 60. It was at 60 several times on the bid, and now on the offer at 60. Okay, let's see. Looking for these buyers now to retest the high and then try to get to 60 here. Okay, so yeah, I don't know, like the ways to look at this here is like you can see a small trend line break in here, and you can see that buying coming in, and it didn't make it, right? So let's just go through a couple scenarios here. If I took that, I would have been stopped out at break even, and I'd also be looking for, I have a hard time with it, but I look for the opposite scenario in here. That's why it's best to go through both scenarios first and have no bias in here. You're looking for one thing or the other, okay, to play out here. And you go through the scenarios due to the order flow in here. Okay, we still might get one more retest back up here by the buyers. Okay, this is still holding this trend. and let's see if we get some buyers off of it. Okay, I don't see too much in the order book here, a little bit, for maybe a move back up to 57 and a quarter. Okay, so this would be the attack back up to here. The swing, I mean, the liquidity is first stop here. They need to get power through that. Okay, now let's go through the opposite scenario. We're looking for our sellers right around this area here, 55 and a quarter. Okay, there they go. Okay, sellers, let's see you take it down then. Now this is the second scenario. Okay, our first scenario was the buyers coming up into here. Second scenario is these sellers starting to come in. And it looks like this is kind of convoluted in here. Do have some pretty strong buying that came in right after that. Right back to, so we're basically in this range in here, basically is what I'm trying to say. And we're looking for a break of it one way or another. Okay, we broke the trend line. All right, so let's see if, so then here's our test to the top of this little range in here. Let's see if we can get our sellers in here. No, not yet. We're buying. Not much though. Let's really zoom in here. Okay, okay, they hit the 57 and a quarter. Not much in the order book here. Some exhaustion there on this on the buy side. Not much in the order book helping us here. Okay, there's our sellers. Okay, I want to see one more retest here. I don't trust just this selling here. I want to see one more retest, and I want to see, there they go. Okay, let's see it, sellers. Let's see if you can take it down here to 54 and a quarter, 54 and a half, and then maybe 53 and a half. One more retest, more selling, should be able to get the break here at this point. There's our exhaustion, sell side 54 and a half. Should hit it here. Again, not a trade recommendation. We're just reading this here. And we have our reasons why. Okay, that we didn't get buyers up here on these retests. We saw the sellers we were looking for here. Here's our exhaustion. Now we're looking for the sellers to take it down. All right, so just a management in here on this trade idea is up in here. If if you're looking for selling in these areas in here, you would take your stop at break even. Okay, don't let this go against you. This is why we're looking for this to work now. It should work now. And we got buyers that came in here and lifted it back up. Okay, we had our reasons though. And we just look for the next one. Okay, there's exhaustion. Do we get sellers down here? Nope, we're getting our buyers in here. Okay, so we didn't have to take that added risk in here. Okay, more buyers again. Another thing that looking in these ranges in here, I want to mention in here is looking for traps. Okay, we've talked about this many times, but this can be really helpful, especially on kind of back and forth days. We're looking for where traders are going to be trapped. Okay, these buyers are going to be trapped. Okay, watch the sellers try to move it against them and stop them out. Okay, now look at these sellers here. They're potentially trapped. Now watch the buyers try to move it back up into here. Okay, or even top of the range. So we want to identify when they're not trapped, and we'll take a look for that. Okay, here come our sellers. Yeah, this could still be a trap here, potentially. Yeah. All right, here's how, like identifying, like we've talked about this for quite a few years, to be honest. This is what I want to cover though, is understanding the where the trap traders are, in again in context in here. Let me explain. Like in this strong move in here, we're going to have to go back and take a look here. We see it all the time, and we've talked about it in terms of who's in control in a move. Okay, so in this move in here, there's no question buyers are in control in this time frame. We do not see sellers that have come back down and retested these areas here in this time frame, okay, from 1032 onwards. Okay, so we need to see this down here, sellers down here, to take these guys on and trade through them. Right, so basically we are bullish in this whole area in here. Okay, at these lows, you're basically bullish in this time frame. Right, so we're trying to keep it simple here. We'll just stay with this time frame only for now. Right, so in here, buyers remain in control. Okay, so now we can look for sellers to come in and try to take these buyers on, and if they can power through this area down here on heavy selling, look out, because what that means then is that all of these buyers in here are potentially trapped, and we can get a nice move to the downside. Really nice. Okay, look for these traps. Look for where traders are going to be compelled to act. They will have to sell. They will have to buy. It's one of the most powerful things to move a market. Okay, see all, like this is really good trap up here, even on this small time frame in here. Look, I'm looking for this very this looks higher probability to me if we can get an order book and balance in here. We just need that order book and balance. Look at that selling in here, right? So we need to see the follow through of the sellers here, else these guys are going to be trapped, and watch for the move up into like 60. Okay, so we have to be really careful in these little areas in here and understand who's trapped. Okay, there's a lot of trap buyers in here. We have really nice, now see this guy is at 54. It's got to get out of the way. There's our sellers. Okay, sellers now. We got to be really careful here with the sellers, because if we get buyers back up above 55.5, look out. Then you can go with that trade to the upside, right? Slowdown has done some really nice work looking at this in here as a Wyckoff spring. Okay, so that's what's playing out actually. Okay, so look at the buyers come in now. They're not finished yet at all. We're going to get a move above the range here this time, I imagine, because we have fuel that's going to propel this higher, and we should see a stop run here. Okay, so we have stops and icebergs here, and indeed we are seeing that right now. Okay, I'm still looking for it to continue here. There's no one trapped. There's no buyers trapped in here at this point. So buyers can take this higher up into 60. Okay, it's kind of a careful thing that you have to pay attention to and watch. and look for these traps. And it can be tricky. Who's trapped, who's not. Okay, we did break this, but all we did was get to this swing high here. We have more sellers coming back in. Okay, they're still in control though, these buyers. Okay, from this time frame here, it's here where they remain in control. They are being tested by the sellers here. Okay, there's some exhaustion on the sell side. The buyers are coming back in. Let's see if we can get an order book underneath us here. We get our buyers here. That's good. Just want to see an order book and balance here to really help lean on that and rely on that. Low volume pullback. Absolutely, Abby. Absolutely. That's another thing to look for. Low volume. Right? But it's also note where the buyers and sellers are, who's trapped, who's not. Right? Many times what we've seen is we're looking for a breakout when we see all sorts of buying, like up in here, let's say, and then they can't make it, and this buying is very weak in here, right? So you can't, it's not momentum here, right? This is good momentum. Okay, this is pretty good. I'm looking for continuation here. Okay, we want to see power in the volume, strong move, strong angle, the order book supporting it, and then we can look for this kind of flag pattern in here of just like this is a strong move, a bit of a pullback or a break, and then followed by another strong move. There's still more momentum in this. Okay, look for these things and look for these confluences in the order flow to help. Okay, back up. Let's see it, buyers. Let's see if you got it still. Okay, here they go. Now we should get our move. Looking for the move up into 60, 61. We have point of control here at 57, or certainly, yeah, that's point of control. See, this is another thing in here. We are above the point of control. That's bullish. That's good. And what we're looking for though is in the point of control especially. This is one thing that is kind of muting this move in here. Is all of this volume traded in here. Okay, so it's more of the point is this: to break away from consolidation areas. Okay, we need to have really strong reaction. Okay, this is pretty good. This looks even better, and it's consistent. It's a stronger move, etc. But we got to tear away from this whole volume area in here. Okay, and that's going to take a lot of lifting by the buyers. Think of it like I think of it at least like a rocket trying to escape, gravity. It needs a tremendous amount of power, and that's what we're going to look for in volume to move it away. And if it can't do it, then this is what happens. The sellers will come back in here. Okay, so now they're testing the bottom of the range in here. All right, so that's the one kind of caveat or takeaway, and it's unfortunate because let's suppose the point of control was down here. this would have been probably up to 64 then, I imagine. You know, we can't get away from all of this traded volume in here right now. All right, this is another confluence to take a look at. All right. Anyway, that's unfortunate. It was nicely set up here for that continuation move. And it can't rip away from this area in here. All right, let's just clear this. We're kind of getting a mess here. All right, let's look at our bigger picture again because I don't want to miss this. This might be the bigger move we're looking for. Yeah. Okay. So higher time frame now. Since 9:15. Okay, look at the selling coming in now. Now, is this enough? Is this enough to break it? It's looking pretty good. Look at this is a strong move in here on that sell side. Okay, so our buy side thing didn't work out, but again, context in here. Okay, testing this trend line, and also where those buyers came in control is down in here. So I would love to see the sellers come in here now. Okay, we might get one more move back to point of control here. Okay, back to test these sellers here. Do they really mean business in here, or are they able to get price to go and accept lower here? God, I would love to see this break though. Our scenario is in here. I'm looking for the sellers right here at 30 or 52.5. And then yeah, I would like to, you know, trade it down into 50 and 49. Okay. Anyway, no bias though. I'm going to look for either scenario here. Okay, enough buyers to trade up to here. And you can look for those big green dots, or our sellers here following this momentum, leaning on it, leaning on the order book. Look at the order book. Okay, we have our kind of skew here. So I like it. I'm still leaning on the sell side here in the break of the trend line. There's our exhaustion. Exhaustion again, looking for sellers here. There they go. Okay, sellers, you got it. You've got the move. Let's see it. Okay, looking for 50 and 49, maybe 48. We can look for a measured move. Well, something like this. And I'm only doing measured moves because there are reasons for it, order flow reasons for it. Okay, yeah, matches up with our 48 level. Now, also volume profile wise, okay, high volume nodes up here. And we know that most volume traded in this area here, right, from here to here, okay, for the day. So we're away from that area. However, let's look at our profile in here. There's a lot of volume that traded down here already. So it's not too much of a stretch if we get enough sellers in here to start to fill out these areas in here. Okay. Now, this scenario to the sell side, another thing that I really like about it is it fits our bigger time frame picture here of looking for sellers to hit the bottom of the ranges here and then trade back down to the lows because of that strong momentum move on Friday. So you can see how fractal this is. We look at the higher time frames in here and understand the order flow within this higher time frame. We got our gap fill. We're looking for our sellers now in this scenario on these time frames, and it's starting to align with that picture. So we're looking for the move lower. Right. So I know it sounds like you know, we're buyers, we're sellers, like, but we're going over many time frames in here. And it depends on the time frame that you're trading. Okay? And we started this move off here by looking and saying, like, we're stepping back and looking at a little bit higher time frame and what that scenario looks like. Okay. All right, so we traded to 350. Now, depending on that, you could take some profit at that liquidity. Okay, or you can hold. You can hold until when? Structure breaks on volume. It's not breaking yet. Here's a trend line and here's our swing, right? It has not broken yet. I don't know, any questions on this? Is this, do you find it helpful? Really trying to break down what's happening in the market via the auction participants. Also, we went over trap trading quite a bit, trap traders. Okay, Aaron, excellent. Yeah, let me cover that about the trap traders again, so hopefully this can sink in. I know it can be kind of confusing. You got that short too. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's still, it didn't break that structure yet. It's tested it a couple times, but it hasn't broken it yet. And so, and then we got some potential buyers up here trapped, and I want to see them squeeze to the downside here. $10.50 Alchi. Yeah, yeah. No, this is nice. Yeah, I mean, we were looking for that move higher at that point, and then in here, it started to align with that higher time frame that we were talked about. But yeah, and oh yeah, we talked about the volume profile in here. It can't rip away from it. Right, all that volume traded within that area. That's really important to understand. Right, like it's consolidation areas, and then the ripping away from that on very strong volume, not ripping into it. You know, that's the difference. Right, so basically this is a range bound trade, in fact, up here. Look great for that continuation. Once they get through, I mean, we've talked about this many times over, not today, I didn't mention it today, but once you can get through point of control on that strong volume, you can look for these moves. So yeah, we're down to 49. We're almost down to our 48 level. It's grinding down there. It has not been a smooth down there. Okay, well, we're just getting there. Goes 49, 48.75, 40, 48.50. Yeah, I would love to see it coming down here as well. 43.40. Yeah. Deborah, that's okay. As long as you understand first, I would suggest this: understand the context, and you do conceptually. Okay? I really would. I would recommend that the next step would be to start to mark them up. Okay, here, like we showed Stan's examples. Here's one from Slowdown just now. Okay, his work is just excellent. So it's exemplary. Here's the spring. He identified it in here. Okay, he saw the buy, and he targeted the top of the range in here. Okay, beautiful stuff. Yeah, just really, really nice, very clear, very clean. He didn't get this move here. This was another market here. So this is the what is it? This is the NQ here. Yeah. Okay, so here it is in kind of a diagram format, understanding Wyckoff spring. It's basically a rejection of the breakdown here back into the range. Look for that buying, and these people are going to feel the pain on the way up. Okay? And here it is related right here. I mean, it is picture almost even lines up with the diagram. Okay, here's your buying coming in. Look at the strong buying in here. So first one, top of the range, beautiful, deep pullback, and looks like you still remained in it, still looking for the higher high, which it did do, but then it failed. Okay, it came back up into here, and then I think it failed. It's NASDAQ though, so I'm not sure. So Deborah, yeah, go through and identify these things. Then once you've identified them, that means that you've understood them conceptually, and now you've seen them in real, or in Bookmap. Okay, now you're going to go look at them in real time. Right, and then go through the scenarios like we're doing in these webinars. Okay, and then once you've got that, then work on your trading. Okay, looking for these scenarios to work out, and if it doesn't work out, you protect yourself. If it does work out, you know where to take your profits. Just like this, just like this in here. Okay, and Stan as well. Okay, I mean, it's like it's picture perfect stuff in here. He's identifying where, and why. There's liquidity there. Yeah, this is a beautiful little spring right in here. Just beautiful. Here's a strong move. Now, even the spring will work within because this is your consolidation range in your high volume area here, okay, which is value. So here's the test outside of that big value area right in here, and the rejection. Okay, look for the other side of the range. I'd look for the range here, to be honest, not the I don't know, probably take some off at the top of this little range, and certainly at least at the top of this range. And I would look, like I said, I was looking for the continuation back up into these areas here. All right, so anyway, yeah, I think that's a good path, Deborah, to and I keep on using Deborah as an example, but to keep it really simple, mark up your charts. And if you're marking up your charts, you might as well go for the Bookmap Academy, because that's what you're going to be doing anyway. So it might even help you, be a little bit more disciplined to do that every day. And then identify them so you know what they look like, and you know what you're looking for, right? And then once you see it, then you can go through the scenarios on how you might react to it, and also how you react to it if it fails. So now this is turning into a reversal pattern now. Okay, so we were looking for a 48. Okay, it traded down to it. It went just below it here by a tick. But this is turning into a reversal pattern. Okay, and we can talk about this kind of, see how the order flow shifts and changes here. Okay, so you look for pullbacks now and continuation. Here's your pullback, back up to the top here. And let's see if we can even get to 54 now. Maybe even back to point of control. Okay, now this is a small time frame, potential reversal. Now we got to cover the opposite here, but like we just see it all the time in here because I don't really trust it here. This as a reversal. The volume's starting to look pretty good on that buy side, that's for sure, right? So maybe a move back up into where it can trade, like in these previous value areas. This is a move back into it. I still like our higher time frame idea here, going with these ideas in here on the daily and our 15-minute. Okay, so the opposite, or if we do not get this continuation on the second leg here, so here's leg 1, pull back leg 2, right? If we get this like a double top in here, and then we start to get selling down here, that's when we look for the continuation of the downside move. Right? We see it all the time. This is it. It just can't make that second leg higher. Right? And it's possible that it's setting up right now. Here's exhaustion. Here's sellers. It's not. It doesn't look that good. But I mean, it is here. It's in the charts, and it's a possible scenario. So if it doesn't look that good, then don't trade it. Okay, because we don't know. Like we talked about this. What we want to do is lean on behavior of other traders, and this is not much to lean on right now. Okay, so we're just watching. You can still identify these things and watch. Yeah, you're looking for this pain spike up into 56 and then the drop. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Back up to here. Back up to your high volume node. Point of control. Okay. Anyway, I mean, now it's painfully clear that this little double top here, we were set up here like, it could right here is where we could get those sellers, and this fails. We didn't. We came back up and we got more buyers in here, right? So we're going to get that continuation here. Oh wow, that's a nice one there, all the way up to 60. Yeah, that's going to be a huge stop run, and it is. Yeah, it's just enormous here. That is from what 720 on up to, so about 700 got stopped out in here. And as Aaron identified that this everyone's feeling the pain on that shorting in here. Okay, well we did recognize the potential reversal pattern in here. What I wanted to cover was, like, can you see it? Remember how we looked at that double top? Well, you can see it in here too with this I don't know if it's a head and shoulders in here, but it's just kind of a rounded bottom in here. And look at the shift in the change here. Okay, so sellers, and it's grinding right into 48, and then look at the shift in here. Buyers, where are the sellers? Where is this selling in here? Look at the bars, look at the dots, look at the colors, and look at the price movement. Okay, so there's your context again. High liquidity filled at 48. And then a little bit of a book skew in here. They're pulling on the offer, and we see the volume shift over and break structure. Okay, in here. We're still a little tentative about direction. Then we see the strong volume come in again, and then we get a lot more than we bargained for here. It came up to, we were just thinking 56, 57, 56. Yeah, it flipped exactly. And you know, look, if you look back on this, like um it was actually, in my opinion, I think it was good we were zoomed in here, because we saw it. If I look at it on this time frame, it looks kind of confusing to me, to be honest. Yeah, we traded into this high liquidity down here. It's the buyers that came in here, but you, at this time frame, you wouldn't really have seen that rounded bottom, that flip. You wouldn't have seen it as clearly. You can see there's some divergence in the volume in here, but yeah, it was a little bit clearer zoomed in. Strong selling now? I don't know. I still see buyers, you know, in control. And this was very, very strong move, but we know that a lot of stops in here. Okay, so yeah, buying at the top edge, strong buying. All right. Now, if the buyers are up here, it's probably a big iceberg in here, but it's got to be an iceberg in there. Somewhat, not that big. But to me, it looks like buyers want to break out and trade up into 64. Right? I don't see anything in here telling us differently right now. Okay, I'm looking for the spike right now. And not yet. Now we should get it. Let's see it. And there's our buyers. Should be able to do this. That's enough buying pressure. I don't see an iceberg. And again, okay, we do have the order book not on our side here. So that's something to be watchful here. Okay, so no, didn't unfold. It's looking pretty good. I don't know what stopped it up here. There really wasn't high liquidity in here. We saw pretty good buying. Okay, well, we can still get a retest back up here. Buyers from this point on still remain in control. Now watch, we can look for this here. If we get strong buying above that selling here, okay, that's what we're going to look for here. Okay, if we do 62 to 64, looks pretty good. Okay, again, selling in here. Okay, now they can get upended. Okay, again, notice how we're looking at in here. Fausto talked about this the other day about trap, trend, and tradable, but that was for stocks. But looking for those traps can really, this is something, Deborah as well, like to lean on. We look for that trap, right? Because those sellers or buyers, they will, you know, they'll have to trade, and that's the best scenario basically, is when they're compelled, right? And we're looking for a stop run. We haven't gotten it yet, because we have the stops and icebergs. We know what stop runs look like in here. We're looking for it though. They're feeling the pain in here, no question about it. Okay, one more push and we should see our stop run. Okay, and then we can look at the flip side too. You know, the buyers still remain in control. Well, what if we get sellers down below 61.25? Okay, then all of these buyers in here, they're going to feel the pain on the move down. There's our move. Beautiful stop run. That's what we're looking for. Okay, into liquidity, high liquidity here, here, and here. All right, so now can we let's clear our drawings for a second and go through a new scenario in here, order flow scenario. All right, so we traded up into this high liquidity. It got filled all the way up. Okay, we're at the top of you know, high of the day here. Here's what we're looking for in a possible scenario, is trading back down here. Let's just look for a trade back down there. There's our exhaustion, looking for sellers here, looking for the move back down right now. Okay, this is quick. Okay, but to test these guys, and then it's actually here, we make it a range, that's fine, around 63 to 63.5, and then we're looking for an outside in move. Okay, instead of our inside out. Our outside in would be outside of the range in here, thinly traded up here, and then sellers in here trapping anyone buying in here. Okay, and then we can look for the move back down. Okay, we just see what we saw happen in here. We got a huge iceberg in here, and a stop run as well. Okay, so that did not unfold. So what does this mean in here? Well, you know, we have we have some larger players in here making a stand in here. That was like 1,500 icebergs, and they're trying to get this to accept higher. Okay, this is forcing it higher. This is pretty toxic order flow in here. Okay, now again, the same scenarios are present here though. So we have our toxic move in here with icebergs behind it. We are accepting higher, but are we really accepting higher on strong volume, or is it just one player or players, a handful of players that moved it up here kind of artificially? All right, so there's going to be, and you can see it here in the volume profile as well. So we're looking for another scenario in here. We're looking for our sellers yet again down here, okay, and to trade it back down into here and also here. Okay, back down into like 65.5 and 63.5. Okay, to fill this vacuum in here created by this. Okay, so we're looking for it. It's still not unfolding. We're still seeing this behavior to try to push this higher. This might be news as well. I might be. I don't know if anyone's got their news feeds up. No, it's not really a spoof. A spoof is something very different. Aaron, the spoof would be in the order book, right? And I don't see any spoofing in here. I just see aggressor behavior. And here's our iceberg right here, right in here. All right, we'll take a look here though. Spoof spoof would be something like we've seen a lot of spoofing recently in the ES as well. Maybe I can show it in gold. I'm looking for a classic one, and I might not get it. Yeah. especially when you can notice the large lot. Yeah, see, this is a little different. You can notice our large lot tracker in here. Basically, let's go back to the ES and I'll go over the concept in here. Spoof would be like this high liquidity in here that has no intent to trade. Okay, we do have our large lot tracker here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels here of high liquidity. Now, they haven't moved. I mean, they haven't really gotten filled in here at all. So do they have the intent to trade, or do they have the intent to just show an imbalance here in the auction, that there's a lot of supply up here and no one's willing to trade with it? No one wants to trade at these higher highs, and they don't want to run into these larger players up here that have a ton of supply. So, you know, that would be more of a spoof. And now it's legit until it comes up here and trades into it and they pull. Okay, which they are starting to do a little bit. Typically, what you see in your spoof is, you know, you get a very, very high liquidity, a block of it. And that would be layering, not just one layer, not just one price level, but it would be several. And it would look kind of like this. It would be a block of orders in here, and it would all, a lot of times they all come in at the same time and they all cancel at the same time as well. Okay, so look for that kind of behavior, Aaron, as a pretty good spoof. That's another, you know, a beautiful thing in Bookmap. It's all recorded in here, so you will see it. Yeah, I like the concept for the short too, because there's a lot of vacuum in here, right? You can even see it in here in the profile. It's just very thinly traded, and it was pushed up by, you know, some pretty, you know, big moves in here. This is a really toxic move in here, and you know, it was some larger, you know, player behavior is what it looks like to me, with a massive iceberg as well, like, you know, capping it off up here at the top. And they're buying too. Okay, let's take a look at our higher time frame. Where are we? Well, this is what we broke. We broke this 64 level here. So we were looking for the move lower. Again, these little ranges in here, well, they're pretty big ranges. There's a lot of nervous order flow around these areas in here. So we'll take a look back at 64 in here and Bookmap, and let's take a look where this breakout happened. Here's our 64 level right here. So this is where the breakout happened. Okay, so and a lot of stops triggered, no doubt, and then the larger player behavior in here, moving that market up higher. I mean, then this is fact. I mean, you know, this is, you know, a larger player that is able to start to push this and get a big stop run to cascade. And then also we have this very large iceberg up here, okay, on the bid. And they got filled. Right, so that's just fact. So we know where they are. No news that you see. Thank you, Noah. Yeah, it could be just kind of you know, this 64 level in here. Now we've come up to this little swing here. See this little candle on the 15-minute? So I like Aaron's idea of like spiking above it and then rejecting and then coming back down and retesting 64. Okay, so that would be the scenario to look at. And let's look in the order flow here. All right, let's cover a few things that we talked about. Identifying trap traders. potentially buying in here, also in here. Okay, where would they be out of control? Below here. Okay, especially below here, no question. That's the bottom of the range though. All right, so let's see if we can get this then. Okay, we'll look for it. So we're looking to see who's trapped and where. Okay, we know where the buyers might be trapped. What about the sellers? Maybe a few in here, and maybe a few down in here. Right, and they've already gotten kind of squeezed though. All right, so now because of that, I'm looking for our sellers in here. That's the scenario in here. Just one. I'm going to go through just one scenario in here, not the opposite, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, guys, if you like this, please hit the like button, and we'll go over more of this kind of content. All right, so we're looking for our sellers here at 69.5. Got an order book on our side here. All right, sellers, let's hit it. Looking for that, and then the move back down into about 68.5 or so, bottom of the range. No, not yet. Okay, still holds true though, even better, still holds true. See the buying in here? Okay, you can even trade it down to it. Now I know that's only a few ticks, but we've talked about this concept many times. Like right in here, this little tiny range in here, sellers at the bottom of it here at 70.5. There they are. All right, so let's see if they can move it down now. There you go. Now we're looking for now we're getting sellers down here. So you could have, you have to be pretty quick, but you'd go through that scenario of these guys in here and then sellers in here to trade it back down here, and then we're looking for the bigger trade to take it down further, right? And then what we can look for is all of that buying in here having to cover. Okay, so if that is the case, where might they have to buy back? Or I'm sorry, have to sell. Okay, probably throughout this whole range and back down into 66 or so. Okay. All right, so looking pretty good so far. Yeah, maybe 65. Now again, if you really want to reduce your risk on this, now you're gonna, it's higher probability, but take some off at the bottom of the range in here, because we never know, right? It might come up here, it might spike one more time back up, and then it might fail. It's still holding true that it is still looking pretty good to drop and to break down here. And we're leaning on certain things in here that we talked about. Okay, we saw a higher time frame, spike above this little swing right here on this candle. Okay, and then we noted that this move in here was a lot of stops being triggered and a toxic move there as well. And then we're looking for up in this range in here, we've got our high liquidity filled. We're identifying the potentially trapped buyers, and we're looking for the squeeze by the sell side. Okay, and then we can lean on these things again. Deborah, look for these things in here to put your plan together and start to grade them as well. How good do they look? How many are there? Where might it go? And that you can put together in your images, right? Mark up your images. So anyway, and if you're going to do it, you might as well just join that Bookmap Academy, since you start to create a record for yourself, and you might yeah, you can work your way up through it through Bookmap Junior Academy, Coach, Streamer. Put the link back in here. There we go. All right, there's our measured move into that liquidity down here. I would have taken some profit for sure. I like to take my profits on my moves. I mean, like trying to look for easy singles and get out and look for another easy single. Make sense? All right, guys, let's wrap it up here. Hit the like button, please, and we'll see you. I don't know if I'll be able to make it tomorrow or not. It's kind of up in the air. Look for it on the calendar. I might have to cancel tomorrow's webinar, but then I would be back on Friday, right? So I have a very tough week ahead. So just to let you guys know. Anyway, continue to mark up your charts. Look for these things. Go through your scenarios in here, and then look how you might want to manage them. Right. So one step at a time, though. Yeah, this is. Still looking for the move back down to test where these other players came in and moved that market. Okay, so our 64 level is kind of what we want to understand. Now, we don't know if it's going to get there. This player that moved it away here, they might defend the heck out of it down here, right? And watch for it. Watch for their behavior. I don't think they're done, but we don't know, right? So anyway. Reduce your risk and control it through the process. Thanks everybody for coming, and we'll catch up with you on maybe Tuesday or Friday there. Okay? Yep. Take care. Bye.